coffee time, and welcome to this week's adventure. We're here for the rut. It's been a glorious day, well, compared to what it's been in the last couple of days. It's been really raining hard from work. I've been looking outside thinking, God, fingers crossed for Friday, but yeah, hopefully someone's looking down on me. And it was an absolutely glorious morning. The mist across the sort of heath and woodland. Managed to see a few fallow deer bucks, which just looked absolutely ethereal, coming across the heath. Off to the right, I could hear the red deer, stag, bellowing. Finally came into view across the heath, off into the distance. I decided not to follow him and stay with the fallow deer, knowing that they would soon melt away into the woods once the sun rose. It wasn't very clear initially, but this white fallow deer buck, he was thrashing around whilst out amongst the mist, and I could see why. Looks as if he's got some barbed wire which is trailing around, or both antlers by the looks of it. Okay, he doesn't seem to be too fazed by it at the moment, but you just wonder with that trailing wire whether it will cause him any issues in the future. Hopefully he'll be able to lose it without too much of an issue. So today I'm going to probably stay, well, I've got something on this evening, so I'm probably going to stay to sort of mid-afternoon, so I'm going to walk around and see if I can catch anything else. It's been a lovely day so far. Hopefully the bird song, maybe able to get a few birds. But yeah, let's see what comes. With the mist finally being burnt away from the rising sun, just gave it some lovely colour in amongst the woods, showing off these common fallow deer bucks at their best. The rut for the fallow deer is still a few weeks off. I guess these young bucks are just putting in a little bit of practice before the serious rutting takes place. So walking Further up the woodland, out across the heath, noticed this really quite large stag with just the single hind. Looks so magnificent, these antlers. He seemed to be looking really intent up the field to my right. And I looked across, and there was this roe deer buck. It's quite interesting that both these deer are native to these shores, unlike the fallow deer which were introduced. But the size difference is immense. I guess this stag's got to be 3 to 4 times or more the size of the roe deer, and I found it quite interesting how they were staring at each other across the field. Although the size difference is immense, I still think the roe deer have a special charm. Eventually decided to move up and away into the woods, turning just one last look across the field before trotting away. Which left the roe deer to have the field to itself, which eventually he decided to have a sit down and chew the cud. I was just about to move off when over to the right saw another stag enter the field again on its own. No hinds attending. He seemed to be quite interested in this branch. It looks as if he's probably done this before, the way in which it's been stripped. I'd spent several hours in this location, decided to move on as it was getting close to midday, and I came across these meadow pipits. They're quite widespread throughout the UK in the warmer months, but once autumn and winter comes, they move down to the southern counties to overwinter. And moving on again, finally saw a large group of hinds with their calves and a few stags. And this large group was led by the dominant stag. To my estimation, the mixed group of hinds, prickets and calves numbered about 30-35, so possibly 20 hinds, maybe more. One small group broke away and went off into the woods opposite me. But this group with the dominant stag stayed in this field, and typically so I had a bit of a shower. Fortunately my camera's pretty waterproof and didn't seem to faze them in the slightest. So looking at the stag's antlers, they're very similar to last year's. Probably about 19-20 points, I guess. It'll be interesting to see how many challenges he'll have this year, whether he holds his position in the pecking order. It looks as if this year's calf is still being fed by the hind. It's been quite a sedate start to the rut. One hopes in the coming weeks, as the hinds come into estrus, things will start to really kick off. Moved off around to the right, up into the woods, just to get a slightly different view. And it looked as if settled down, laying up, ruminating. It was a good time for me to back away and quietly leave. Hopefully on my next couple of visits we'll be able to see just a little bit more action from this year's rut. It's quite interesting, these modern cameras. I mean, stood at the edge of the field here as I was walking away, and to the naked eye you could just about see the deer, but with the camera and you're filming, it looks as if you're almost right up to them. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe, And as always, it'd be great for you to join me in the next one.